The Geek Group would like to thank Rust-Oleum for making this video possible through the donation of Rust-Oleum EpoxyShield floor coating. Hi there guys, I'm Chris Bowden and welcome to the Geek Group. Today we're going to take you through the entire process of how to epoxy coat a floor. What we're doing is basically we're going to clean and epoxy coat the floor down here in the Geek Group's robotics lab and take you guys through the entire process step by step. If you watch the videos and pay attention, we'll be able to save you a ton of money and a lot of headaches on how to do this properly in your own garage or workshop. It's really amazing stuff. Rust-Oleum's been a sponsor of the Geek Group for years, and we've used the EpoxyShield with great success for over a decade in our past 4 lab buildings. We've never had a failure of the epoxy yet, so this is good stuff, and it handles us building robots and cars and high voltage on it, so it'll be great in your workshop at home. Follow along, we'll take you through the whole process step by step. Read all instructions carefully before starting project. Sealed concrete. Determine if there's a concrete sealer present by dripping a small amount of water onto the surface. If the water beads, a sealer is present and paint may not adhere properly. Poorly bonded previous paint. If the floor is previously painted, remove any loose paint by sanding and scraping. Moisture in the concrete. Apply a 2x2 foot sheet of plastic, such as a heavy-duty garbage bag or a 1-gallon plastic storage bag, to the area of the floor. Tape down the edges with duct tape and allow to set for 24 hours. If water droplets appear on the inside of the plastic, or if the concrete itself appears wet by being darker in color, moisture is trapped in the concrete and the floor should not be painted. Loose or poorly cured concrete or concrete dust. If the concrete is loose, chipping, spalled, or has concrete dust present, the coating will not perform properly unless all loose material and dust is removed and damaged areas repaired. Apply when the ambient air temperature is between 60 and 100 degrees and relative humidity is below 85%. Minimum floor temperature for painting is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so we're going to begin by unboxing the kit and give you guys a look inside. Now, there's 2 different classes of the epoxy kit. There's the regular residential, the kind you'd buy at Lowe's, and then there's the professional grade. This is the hardcore professional grade because we do not mess around and we do floors here by the acre. Really the only difference is the formulation's a bit different and the volume is a lot different. With the regular consumer grade, it mixes up to be 1 gallon. With the professional grade, it mixes up to be 2 gallons. The consumer grade is a water-based product. The professional grade is a xylene-based product. So this is the hardcore, serious professional grade. Now in this, you get enough to make 2 gallons, so you get 2-gallon containers that are both full. It's just like the other one, though. There's a 2-part mixture with the base and the activator. Activator is A, base is B. And with the pro grade, what really sells it is you get 2 things of sprinkles. So, and that's it. Other than that, all you got in the box is the instructions. There's also instructions on the side of the can. Read, follow, and understand all of the instructions. There's a lot of stuff to it, especially when it gets down to time and temperature, which is really important. Now, we don't need any of this right now. Something you will notice is with the professional grade is it doesn't come with its own acid. You have to supply your own. It isn't a big deal. Wherever the professional grade stuff is sold, you can buy the little bags of acid, and it comes just like that. For us, we took it up a notch because we do this, we're doing hundreds of gallons of this stuff. So we actually bought liquid citric acid. It's the same stuff. Instead of the granules, it's a liquid form, and you can get that through a local chemical supplier. We bought it in a 5-gallon jug. But that's what's in the box, and with that, it all begins in cleaning a floor. So down here, this was a really good example floor for us because this room used to be a weight room. Our building was a YMCA originally. So this floor was tiled, and it had every possible layer of stuff on it that you could get. So we had a lot of work in getting all that off. We spent a week pressure washing everything off. After we got all the tiles and that, we got down to the glue, we had to pressure wash all that off. And the rule that we've learned that holds true is anything you can get off with a big pressure washer, not like one of the little Wheatley $300 pressure washer, but like a proper industrial pressure washer. Anything you can't get off with a pressure washer, as long as it's not hygroscopic, you want to, if you have like an oil stain where the oil's soaked into the concrete, and if you put water on it, you'll see the water repel off. As long as it doesn't do that, if you can't get it off with a pressure washer, you should be okay. It'll stick, it'll cover it. You need to get it rough, but it'll cover it. Now this floor, we took it right down to the bare concrete. We haven't acid etched this floor yet. That's the next step. But there was right here, you can see where they had an old concrete patch, and it was really rough and really nasty. We couldn't get it off with a pressure washer, so we got it off with a hammer and chisel, and we just spent some time chiseling it right off, just like this. And it's really tedious, and it's really time consuming, but preparation is everything. The actual application of the epoxy is stupid easy. Anybody can do it. Preparation is what's going to make the difference between having a painted floor and having a really nice, professionally done, beautiful, smooth floor. It's all about preparation. So take the time at this stage to do everything you possibly can to ensure when you're done, you have a perfectly clean, perfectly smooth floor. So it's all about getting all the bits off, vacuuming it, pressure washing it, acid etching it. It's all about preparation. 90% of the work's in preparation, okay? So we've got all that chiseled out. That took a lot of time. I'm going to take some time and finish out a little bit of chiseling today, and then we're going to get on with the acid etching. Remove any oil or grease spots on your floor. Use a scrub brush and a cleaner degreaser, or use a solvent such as mineral spirits. Scrub the spot thoroughly and wipe up excess cleaner with rags or paper towels to keep contaminants from spreading. Rinse thoroughly with fresh water and repeat as necessary to completely clean. Scrape, wire brush, or use a power sander to remove loose or unsound concrete, masonry, or deteriorated coatings. Wash the entire floor with a suitable detergent or cleaner using a stiff bristled brush. Thoroughly rinse and allow to dry. Etching is necessary to ensure proper adhesion of the coating to the concrete. Slowly add 1 part phosphoric or muriatic acid to 4 parts of water in a plastic watering can. Follow the manufacturer's directions. Pre-wet the floor. Then, distribute the acid solution over a 10 by 10 foot section of the floor. Scrub with a stiff bristle brush. The acid solution should fizz for about 3 or 4 minutes while being scrubbed. When the fizzing stops, mop or hose off the solution and move on to the next section. When all sections are completed, rinse 3 times and scrub with a stiff bristle brush while rinsing. For best results, use a foam or rubber squeegee to remove the rinse water from the surface. A wet-dry vacuum can also be used to eliminate excess water, dirt, and contaminants. Do not leave pooled water on the floor. Allow the floor to dry completely. Wipe your fingers over the clean, dry floor. If you see any dust or powder on your fingers, repeat the rinsing and scrubbing until the floor is clean. If your fingers remain clean, continue on to the next step. Now today, we're doing the patching process to fill in the main expansion joint that goes all the way across the center of the room, and a couple small patches around, there's a couple spots here and there, mostly little pecks and things like that. We're going to be using the Rust-Oleum EpoxyShield concrete patch and repair kits to do this. It's 100% compatible with the main EpoxyShield epoxy coating that's going to go on the floor when we're done. So today, let's get started, and I'll take you through the process of how to mix, prepare, and apply the epoxy to your floor. The first thing you're going to need is the epoxy kit itself. You'll also need a couple putty knives. You'll need, get at least 1 pair of gloves. You're probably going to want 2 or 3 by the time you're done, but you're definitely going to want gloves for this. If you get this on your skin, it stays there for a while until it's good and ready to get off. You're going to need a paint stirrer or a small spatula of some kind. You're going to want something to mix it with. I do most of my mixing with the putty knives, but you're going to want a long, skinny tool to get it out of the tubs. Whatever you use to get it out of the tubs, plan on never using for food again. So a little dime store spatula works really well. You're also going to need a clean, big sheet of cardboard to mix it on. Another thing that works really well is you can get the molded tinfoil disposable baking pans and pie plates and stuff like that. They work really great for this. This is what we had. We pulled it off of Gaylord, so it'll work great for this. With that, let's get to work. All right, inside your box, you're going to find 2 containers. You're going to find your Part A activator and your Part B base. Now, it's okay that one is bigger than the other. You need more base than activator. However, with some of the EpoxyShield products, when you open them up, the consumer-grade epoxy coating itself, you dump one container into the other. You don't do that here. You want to mix these separately onto a different surface. So, get your surface. This is also the point when you want to put on your gloves. All right, the best way to open these is actually with the edge of your putty knife. because they put the lids on really good, because this isn't the kind of thing you want to have pop open in a box. And Rust-Oleum's a paint company. They're good at keeping the lids on things. All right, so we pull it out, and this is our part A, the activator. You want to get everything you can out of the container. And then get all of your part B out and dump it right on top. Okay, at this point, you're not going to need those anymore. So just set them aside. Now you want to mix these together until you can't tell which is which. It all should be the same color, and it'll all turn gray. Now this, you want to remember, is actually epoxy. It's not like paint. This doesn't dry on contact with air like a glue would or like a paint would. This dries simply by being mixed together. The second they touch each other, the clock is ticking. So you can't keep extra of this around. You have to use it all, and what you don't use, you're going to end up throwing away because it sets up hard as a rock. You just do an initial basic mix, and then the best way to mix it after that is like you're making a souffle. You want to fold it in on itself. Now it's going to be really runny at first, but that's going to change pretty fast. And when you're applying it, if you have to fill a crack, like go down in like we're doing here, you want to do the deep parts where you want it to work into the crack first. While it's still runny, because it's going to set up, and then you do your upper layers second. There you go. Okay. Now I do this with 2 putty knives. And here's how it's done. You pick it up, spin your putty knife so it doesn't run off, and get it right in your crack. I'm going to force it right down into that crack, like that. Pick it up, give it a twist, push it right down in there. I got a pretty big hole there. I'm just going to fill that hole right up. You'll probably work an air bubble out, so just poke it right down in there. And if you spill a little on the floor, it's okay. You just scoop it right in because we're going to paint the whole floor anyway. Now, once you've got your base area done, take your wider trowel. I'm going to take and put a little dollop there. Drop a dollop right there. You want to have it as smooth as you can get it, because any texture you leave in this, once it dries, is there forever. And you just work your way down. All right, so there you have it. That's everything you need to know to apply Rust-Oleum's EpoxyShield patch and repair kits in your workshop or garage. EpoxyShield mixing. Do not mix the decorative paint chips with the EpoxyShield. Stir the contents in each can thoroughly. Pour Part B into a 5-gallon bucket. And then add Part A. Mix well for 2 to 5 minutes. Power mixing is preferred. It is crucial to mix thoroughly to ensure that the material is fully activated. Wait 30 minutes before applying mixtures at temperatures between 70 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait 60 minutes at temperatures between 60 and 70 degrees. See the charts for the appropriate application times and pot life. Do not leave the container in direct sunlight. Pot life is reduced if more than 2 gallons are mixed or if temperatures exceed 90 degrees Fahrenheit. See Chart 1 for details. If desired, anti-slip additive may be added to the mixed coating, following the manufacturer's directions. If using more than one kit, do not mix kits at the same time. To ensure even gloss and color, the coating must be applied within the time stated on the charts. After the 30 or 60 minute standing time, use a brush or edger to trim the perimeter and areas where the roller cannot reach. Use a long-handled roller with an epoxy-safe 3/8" nap cover to apply an even coat of EpoxyShield onto the surface. Apply in 4 foot by 4 foot sections so that the decorative paint chips can easily be scattered onto the freshly coated surface. Maintain a wet edge to prevent lap marks and gloss differences. Toss the decorative paint chips onto the wet film. This step may be skipped if chips are not desired. This will not affect the performance of the coating. Immediately continue to coat the next section. Note that fresh paint can be applied over the loose chips that lay outside the previously painted area. Only one coat is necessary. If a second coat is desired, see Chart 2 for recoat times. This product must be used within the pot life indicated. If the product is used beyond the recommended pot life, the coating may appear to have an uneven gloss and color. Do not leave the container in direct sunlight. Each EpoxyShield kit contains enough surface treatment to cover 300 to 400 square feet of smooth, bare concrete. Very rough or porous concrete may require more material. Surface should be ready for light foot traffic in 16 hours. Heavy items and normal foot traffic in 24 hours. Full cure in vehicle traffic requires 4 days. Note that the dry times increase at cooler temperatures. See Chart 2 for details. Dispose of rollers and brushes that were used to apply the epoxy. Spills can be cleaned with Xylol. Allow any unused product to harden in the container and discard all materials according to local regulations. Do not store your roller cover and/or brushes in the freezer. Epoxies contain strong solvents which will evaporate from the rollers and contaminate the contents of the freezer. Avoid contact with skin and eyes. For skin contact, wash thoroughly with soap and water. In case of eye contact, flush immediately with plenty of water for at least 15 minutes and get medical attention. If swallowed, do not induce vomiting. Keep out of reach of children and do not take internally.